So this one's really, I like skateboarding and I like doing it as a hobby. I'm not really that great, but one thing I did notice, I bought a cheapish board from Amazon, 7 plywood. I had to change the wheels. The wheels that came with it were extremely soft. Got some 100As because I'm quite big and quite heavy. I'm an adult, I'm in my 40s. But one of the worst things about this skateboard is the bushings. Now, these are the first thing on a cheap board you're going to want to replace. I have metal trucks. The truck geometry doesn't make that much difference to the ride, but this part of the truck really does, the bushings. Now, these bushings are barrel and sleeve side bushings, and they're intended for much lighter people, and to really use them properly I've had to absolutely bend the hell out of them. Okay, and that's not really a great position to be in, but the end cap there, that's fine. There's the truck. It's not a bad truck. It's sturdy enough, it's heavy enough, it's taken a few bashes. It's not a particular name brand, but this part, these parts are really taking an absolute pounding, and they're really not up to stack. So those are going away, and we have to replace them. Some really hard ones with new washers called Bones. I came across these a long time ago, but they're really good washers. Look like that, bushings. And this is how you fit them. So, nut, washer, this part for skateboard, and then the larger one on the bottom, and obviously the base of the skateboard, okay? And that's what we do with them. Now, what might be handy is I am half tempted to put a spacer in that bolt there to lower that bolt as well. The spacer I would put in would probably be one of these. I could jam that inside there underneath. It probably would fit, but it would make it harder to tighten. But you know, this bolt might need replacing one day because I think it's a bit long. I think the I don't like the bolt coming above the chassis, as it were. Not bad trucks, could do a lot better. They're a lot lighter than I expected. Right, so let's get these underway. Big one. Oh, there we go, first problem. Gonna have to get a file. They're not fitting. Oh yeah, they will. They're just being stubborn. They don't leave much room for manoeuvring. Let's put this back in. Oh. That was the big one, right? Yeah, that was the big one. Small one. What you're going to have to do is just temporarily pull that bolt through. I'll do that with this. No. Maybe I'll just use that. Just going to pull that. Make sure that bone slips all the way down to the bottom there. Doesn't want to go down, so I'm just going to force it down. I've come across this problem before. Just a case of using the tools you have. There we go. See, he's a bit further down the bottom. I'm not going to use the skateboard like that, that would be stupid. I'm going to pull this back off, but at least I've got that thing down to where it's supposed to go. All this just to have a slightly more rideable skateboard. Let's take the other one, pop it on top. Oh, is it still not down far enough? Oh yeah, there it is. It just keeps sliding down. Ah. Right, it's kind of... God, that's annoying. It's just fiddly, that's the only problem. Come on. I just wanted to stay up while I feed this one off. God, this is annoying. I can see if I push on the bottom bone with my finger, I've got a bit more resistance, and that gives me enough leverage to do that. So finger on the bottom bone and push it down. Now it took a couple of seconds to figure out how to get around that. Or the tolerances on the bone stuff is extremely tight as well, which I know I'm going to say isn't helping, but it will help when I'm riding. There we go. Let's tighten that up, not too much. Give it a good yank, tighten it again, and there we go. Looks a hell of a lot better than that, doesn't it? Don't know if you can see that. Right, hopefully let's do the other one much quicker. Same thing as before. Gonna be keeping the cap, didn't get a new one. It's not really that important. If the cap splits, I'll have to buy another cap. You know, this little bit down here. That bit. But they generally tend to last a very long time. It's just a pivot point, really. Alright, same as before. Large one first. Whoops. Let's get that out of the way. Yeah. Same as before on the tolerances, it doesn't want to go in immediately. So let's just push it in and out a few times to get rid of some of the plastic that's built up there. Oh, that one dropped all the way down. Perfect. Right. Let's get the cap back in. Now, same as before, finger on the bone, pushing it to the left so I can get the other bone on. Just apply a little pressure to make sure it stays in place. Ah, failed. But the pressure going outward seems to be better. There, got enough of it on there. Is that enough? Not quite. No, failed. Applying pressure to the bone, for the bottom one. Ah, God, failed again. Just not quite enough to. Oh, almost. That's okay, I seem to be able to screw it down this time. any which way you can get it. Right, put the washer on. There's enough there to bite the thread, so I should be able to. Oh, not quite enough. Might just. There's enough there without the washer, so just let me give it a couple of twists to pull it a bit further up through. Then undo it, and put the washer back on. Oh god, this takes me back to being a kid and doing this over and over again. But if you buy a cheap skateboard, other than the wheels, this is probably the next thing you want to change. If you're going to start doing heavy tricks on it, change the deck. If you're going to start grinding on it, change the trucks. But if you just want to get started again and you buy a cheap board and you can't do any tricks and turning is, and you're getting wheel bite and all sorts of other things, change the bushings. They're less than in America $10, and in the UK £6, and they really do make the biggest difference in terms of riding it. Nose tail. Is it round that way on this one? Yeah, it is. Right. A couple more turns on that one, and we're done. Much more stable set of bushings, and look at how distorted and decrepit these things were after only a short time riding with somebody of my weight. Let's try something a bit more hardcore. Well, there we go. That's a nice simple video. I'll put this up on the channel.